Today on the John Ankerberg Show, there's a brand new museum opening in Washington, D.C., November 17th, called the Museum of the Bible.
This book has impacted our world in every area of our lives, from science to government to the economy to education.
It impacts our language. It impacts the way we view culture. It's the way that we lead families.
It's affected more people throughout history. It's affected more governments. It's been banned the most. It's been burnt the most. It's been debated the most.
Life magazine had the 100 most impactful events of a millennium. And number one was the Bible being printed on the Gutenberg press. This book is the most incredible story that's ever been told, and so it needs to be shown and told in the most incredible way. So the Museum of the Bible is really three different pillars: research, education, and with the museum itself there in Washington, D.C., collectively that is what the Museum of the Bible is all about.
It's much more than a museum of artifacts. It's technology, it's theatrical, it's the proven history and the ancient validation of this great book that are all there in one place.
This book has an incredible story, and our role is to bring that story alive. And so we are using some of the latest technologies to help do that.
Our artifacts are amazing. It will blow your mind.
To tell us about this new museum, my guests are Steve Green, president of the 750 Hobby Lobby stores in 47 states, and chairman of the Museum of the Bible. Second, his wife Jackie, who is co-founder of the museum and for 6 years has worked with the development team of the museum. And third is Carrie Summers, president of the Museum of the Bible. Join us for this special edition of the John Ankerberg Show. Welcome to our program. I'm John Ankerberg. Thanks for joining me today. We have a great program for you. We have three special guests, as you've just heard. We've got Steve Green, who's the president of the Hobby Lobby stores all across the country and chairman of the Museum of the Bible. Second is Steve's wife, Jackie, who is co-founder of the museum. And third is Carrie Summers, president of the Museum of the Bible. And folks, I'm glad that you're here. And today we want to talk about the top 2 floors of this museum. All right, it's spectacular. I've been there, I've seen what you've been doing, and I want you to tell the people about it. But Steve, first of all, for people that are just joining us this week, what is the purpose of creating a huge Museum of the Bible in the center of Washington, D.C.?
To put it short and sweet, what we are wanting to do is invite all people to engage with the Bible. That, in essence, is what we want to do. And it helps to know what we don't do. What we are not wanting to do is espouse a faith. We just want to present the facts of this book and let people engage with it. Invite them to explore for themselves this book. It's a book that has changed our world. And so while there are many that have a love for this book, there are many that don't know anything about this book. And so we just think it's important to inspire and to encourage and people to engage with this book that has had such an impact.
Yep. And Carrie, describe this museum and take us through the floor, summarize some of the things that are there.
Thank you, John. I'll ask the viewers to buckle their seatbelt, and we're going to fly fast through this. The museum is located in Washington, D.C. It's 2 blocks from the National Air and Space Museum, which is one of the highest attendance museums in the United States, and 3 blocks from the U.S. Capitol. When they approach the entrance, it's something really magnificent. There's 2 gates, as we call them, on either side of the entrance. Total weight 16 tons, bronze gates, Gutenberg Bible, Genesis chapter 1. And then as you're facing that, you're also seeing a 38-foot high etched glass from Munich, Germany, and it has the oldest portion of Psalms 19 in Greek. And so you really walk into the Bible when you come in. And so as soon as you walk in, you see this magnificent ceiling there. And it has, it's 140 foot long, it's 20 foot wide, 40 foot high, and it looks like murals or frescoes, but it changes by the minute, by the hour, and it's fantastic, all electronic. You'll notice the floor. It has some interesting changes. You come in, it's very dark, marble, and then as you move towards the elevators and the stairs that take you throughout the museum, it becomes very light. Obviously, they'll intend to say moving from darkness to knowledge. The first floor is really quite interesting, but let's start with the subfloor.
Right.
2 levels down, which is where our labs are located. And these are, we can't have public going down there, but they're wired so that there is a viewing room that they can see real lab work being done. On the floor, we call it B1, -1, is the special exhibit floor. And it's about 10,000 square feet, and our goal is to have at least 3 exhibits going on at all time in that section. And these are visiting museums or libraries. On the first floor, we have the Vatican Library and the Vatican Museum located. We have visiting libraries there, include the Bavarian State Library. We've got the collection from the Amsterdam Jewish History Museum in Amsterdam, and we have other libraries that will come and go within that first level. We have our very large children's area where the kids can play games, and we found that mom and dad love to play games too.
Absolutely.
So it's a big playtime, but it's all biblical based. And one of the things that we've also found is that the gift shop becomes a learning tool into itself. So
It's gorgeous, the one that you've created.
and you can see on the slide, it's up there right now, and it has books and replicas of things that are in the museum. Many of the 100 academics who have contributed to the knowledge to the museum, their books are in there, and so it's a place just to go and explore and buy unique gifts, but also as a big learning tool. Now, as you then progress up into the museum, you have 2 ways to go. You have a beautiful staircase with etched glass on it, and you see that on the screen now, and or what we call our environmental elevators. And you push the button, and you're enveloped into a scene. It may be Cave 4 at Qumran, and you're looking out onto the Dead Sea because all the walls become screens. It may be a room at Westminster Abbey where the last finishing touches of the King James Bible were put in 1611, and that is it's called the Jerusalem Chamber. And so it sort of decompresses you. Let's just go in order then. You go up to the second floor, and this is the impact of the Bible. This is the impact of the Bible on America and the impact of the Bible globally. Impact of the Bible in America has, it's a gorgeous, high impact area. Many artifacts are on that. And also, but just the storyline itself is great. It's the impact of the Bible from founding fathers' letters. It's not just the hearsay. We have everything there documented.
Yeah, right on the wall. They can read it themselves, and they can see Thomas Jefferson signing some of these things. They can see John Adams. You can see all kinds of the founding fathers signing the very documents that are on the wall.
Yeah, many of these things have taken on almost a legend form, and the stories have gotten somewhat twisted because of that. And we could say we're trying to debunk that, but we're just saying here's the facts, and here it is, black and white. But it also has the history of the founding of America from the African Americans, what their role was, so the Jewish community, what was their role. Many of these topics are really rarely talked about when we talk about the founding fathers of America. Mm-hmm. How did we get these documents, and what were they based upon? It explores all of that. The other side of that then is the Bible globally, and our intent is to show the Bible is all around you. You may not even realize it's all around you. So we start with some unusual exhibits: the Bible impact on fashion, on government, on family, compassion ministry, churches. How did we get time and calendar? That's all part of that. And then also on that floor, we explore what's happening globally with the Bible today. A large room there, and you can go and explore. This is what's happening in Romania today. This is, we're because of a relationship we have with YouVersion, the app, the Bible app for your data phone. we can explore questions to 300 million people at one time and watch their feedback. From there you go up, let's say, to the third floor now. And the third floor is a fascinating floor. It's designed for people who may know everything there ever is to know about the Bible, but it's done in a way that if you know nothing about the Bible, you will want to go to this floor, because it takes you through the Hebrew text. Some call it the Old Testament. It's a 45-minute walkthrough, high images, special effects, and it takes you through the key stories in the Old Testament. Then we have the New Testament theater. It takes you from the death, the resurrection of Jesus, all of his followers, the life of Paul, and it ends on the Isle of Patmos, and John is closing the book on the book of Revelation. And then there's the world that Jesus knew of Nazareth, and that's an immersive environment, almost like a Colonial Williamsburg, where they have costume docents, and they explain to you, why did Jesus teach the way he taught? Let's go up to the next floor, and this is the richest floor in artifacts. It has about 600 artifacts. It's the history floor, and there you start with some of the oldest artifacts ever found, time of Abraham, and it goes really up to date, and even shows what translations are left to be done, how many have been done, what partial translation, what countries have it, and our goal is to have a representation of every Bible in every language that's ever been translated on that floor. So we start with the oldest, and we take you through the medieval time periods and Torah scrolls and talked about the Jewish roots of Christianity, and then you end with this final room that says, here's what's been done and here's what's left to go. So that gets you to floor 4.
You're so brilliant in being able to give us those facts. Jackie, of all these things that you've just heard, we're still going to talk about the top 2 floors here, but of what you've heard so far, what's your favorite floor?
Every floor has a great purpose, and I love things about each floor, but my favorite overall is the impact floor. And it's where people will interact from around the world in real time. And I love the fact that I'll be able to see that real-time interaction. And I think there's a place where people can come and leave their personal stories of how the Bible has influenced their lives. So seeing those things is special to me.
Yeah. Steve, what did you put on floor 5? What will people see?
Well, I'm excited about the core stories that we tell on floors 2, 3, and 4, but the top 2 floors have some very exciting elements as well that really supplements what we're doing within the museum. One of those spaces is the theater. We have a theater that we want to celebrate the arts. We will be opening with a Broadway production of Amazing Grace, which is an incredible program telling the impact of a Bible on an individual life. So the theater's almost a 500-seat theater. We're excited about having programs going on every evening in the theater, and then opportunities to have shows and opportunities to do things throughout the day as well in that theater. We also have a banquet hall, a 1,000-seat if it were stadium-type seating, or if there's tables for a dinner, roughly 500 could have a seat. And I imagine every night something going on, a banquet of some sort where different organizations are able to utilize this because of a love to celebrate and to highlight the book that we love. We also have a restaurant up there. It's going to be a phenomenal restaurant with some great foods, with a Mediterranean, Israeli type of a food to try to bring the foods of the Bible alive for people to have a better understanding of the foods that might have been enjoyed during the time of the Bible. A garden in that area that would have shrubs and plants of the Bible, again, making it educational. So on these top 2 floors, there are some great opportunities. There's other space, there's some office space and a lecture hall where the scholarly lectures can go on that can be broadcast around the world. So there's just a lot of exciting things that I will let Carrie take a little bit more detail on some of those opportunities.
I got an opportunity to see the theater being built, okay? And it's gorgeous. But he didn't tell the people how fabulous this theater is. I want you just to show them a couple things. You showed them the theater in just plain white surroundings, okay? But electronically, every wall, all the ceilings are controlled. Talk about how you've done this, and then show them how you can change every wall in that place.
Right, it's a beautiful theater. It's magnificent unto itself, but we added an element that's called indoor mapping. It has not been done to the degree that I'm going to show you. With a click of a button, truly, we can go from what you see right now is the traditional theater, wonderful as it is, but we can convert that theater to almost any scene we want it to be, and here's an example. So with a click of a button, it can become that, or it can become that, or it can become that. And it's what it does, it envelopes people into the scene. It brings it to life. We found that retention of what is being sung, what is being said, what the lecture's about, dramatically goes up, really huge gains. And it's because of this enveloping. And it's called mapping, and we'll be the first in the country to ever try it at this degree.
Yeah, and this is why the Broadway folks love this, because their imagination just starts cruising right along as they think of what can we create. We can put people right in the environment as we're telling stories. And so you've got it all right there in the theater.
Yeah, and we have an element in there that runs when shows are not running. We have many shows that will run in there, but we have an element in there, and it's called the spoken word. And people come in there, and there are scenes on the big screen that we have, and it's 100% scripture being read, and on the mapping, those words are floating throughout the theater. And all you do is sit down and just listen. And you can listen for an hour if you wish. And it sounds like, wow, I don't know if that'd be a lot of fun. It's a shocker to hear God's word being read, see the scenes, words floating around you. It's like, I don't want to leave. And that runs throughout the whole day when a show is not being shown.
Yeah, now tell me about some of these other rooms that are up there.
Well, the fifth floor is a unique combination. We also have 3 museum settings on that floor. One is the Israel Antiquity Authority, and they're bringing over some of their treasures. The Israel Antiquity Authority controls all the finds in Israel, and so they're the gatekeeper, and they've created an exhibit of biblical proportion. It truly is, and they're bringing over items that will tie to the Bible based all the way back into the time of Abraham, and that will be their opening session. And then they have another section that they will have the gold that was found in Caesarea last year and sunk in ships, and was gold that was found on ships coming from Rome. That'll be on exhibit there. And then next to the Israel Antiquity Authority is a gigantic art museum, and this is both what we call it old masters art, of the influence of Bible on art, and it's a combination of legendary, beautiful art and all the way into modern art. And the opening one is called The Walking Dead, and this is dealing with the book of Ecclesiastes. So it's a walkthrough of art of the book of Ecclesiastes. Next to it is the virtual reality theater. And this takes people, we're trying to show what education will be in the future. And this is virtual reality, augmented reality. And in this theater, I'll only give you one scene, and how we're going to mix it, I'm not sure how we're going to open yet, but you put on the virtual reality, you sit in these chairs, 100 people do, and the opening scene takes you from the cave in Italy where Da Vinci painted the Last Supper, a fresco. You walk through the painting, you're in his workshop, and he tells you to pick up a brush, and in virtual air you pick up a brush, and you dip it in virtual paint, and you paint a portion of an outline, and then when several other things go on, but when you take the goggles off, you and your 100 mates that are there, everything you painted is stitched together, and you realize you just painted a portion of the Last Supper.
Wow.
And you get a code, and you can take that home with you, print it out at home, even though it's virtual space, but it can be printed in real form.
Wow.
And so that's an exciting part. And then our lecture hall that seats about 100 people is on that same level for global lectures, internationally broadcasted.
Yeah, you're going to broadcast these lectures from what scholars find in terms of the digs that are going on, the excavations, all the things. I love the collaboration you are having, and you've already got with other museums all around the world. I mean, I find this astonishing that they are willing to bring some of their exhibits and exhibit them in your museum, so the museum is constantly going to be changing.
Right, it's a real privilege, and you can travel the world, and we've always said this even about the collection, the items you're going to see. You can travel the world and you're never going to see everything that you can see in this museum. The same is true about visiting museums and exhibits. Many of these exhibits are being built by other museums and institutions just for us. So you can go to those institutions, you're not going to see what they're building to ship over here. Our effort is to show the world that this is the book, the Bible, it's a book for all people. And a lot of people are involved in other museums and institutions. And we want to show that with this collaborative effort and try to rip down some of these walls that have been built between various faith traditions, but also do it in a way that is academically absolutely correct, but also highly creative. And that's what you're going to see in our visiting exhibits.
You have created a special restaurant, and I want you to describe where you have placed it. You have placed it right at the top of the museum, and you've got a glass walkway where they have a full view of Washington, D.C. You can reach out and touch the Capitol building, okay? Right. So that's where you've placed that, plus you've placed it in gardens. Right. Talk about this.
The restaurant is on the 6th level. It's right next to the ballroom that Steve described, and it has 2 components to it. Well, there's really 3. We have a wonderful coffee shop, seats a couple hundred people. On our mezzanine areas, you come into the museum. But on the 6th floor, we have 2 dining areas. One we call VIP. It's really more just for private functions, but it's open to the public also. And then the other is the traditional restaurant. We did add an element to it, and it's an outdoor biblical garden. Plants, shrubs, trees, flowers of the Bible, and you can dine out there at 130 feet up in the air. But the food is what's unique. It deals with an infusion of Mediterranean cooking with Lebanese type cooking, and it's quite unique. In fact, the spices that are being used are being mixed today. The operators of the restaurant is Equinox out of Washington, D.C., who is highly renowned for over 20 years, and they're going to be operating the restaurant. But it still has hot dogs and hamburgers for the kids. It's not so exotic. But this is a place where you can understand the foods of the Bible, because the spices are being used like hyssop. It's found in the Bible. And other herbs that you see in the Bible are going to be used in the recipes, and there'll be a card or a tablet there so you can understand why were they in the Bible? How did they have a Bible connection? So not only great food, but our efforts to put everything in perspective that it's all about the Bible. And even the food is all about the Bible.
You're also going to have a kosher section in that restaurant.
Yes, and then this is for our Orthodox Jewish friends. Very hard to find kosher food in Washington, D.C. In fact, there's only one restaurant, and we're going to have the ability to serve kosher meals, first quality, top notch, to our kosher friends.
Yeah, and Jackie, the question that moms want to ask is this going to be a restaurant where the kids are going to come up there and lick their fingers and say, this is really good?
Oh, absolutely. And any mom that's planned a vacation or a teacher that has kids on a field trip, having food handy and convenient and delicious, healthy food options are always, a big plus.
And you've come up with a system where people get the food fast. What'd you do?
Yes, this is modeled after some other institution, museums and libraries. It's not our invention, but it's top quality food that's done in we'd call it a cafeteria style. But people are actually cutting the meat, serving it. So it's hot, fresh, it's not a buffet at all. And allows people to a la carte. I'm not very hungry today. Well, great. You don't have to pay a buffet price. If you want to just buy that, you can buy that, and that's it. So it's amazingly affordable for families on high quality, but you're not stuck with the big $15.99 buffet bill. And if it's a peach cobbler, great, it's peach cobbler. That's all you want, that's fine. So we've tried to really be sensitive to the international market who will be attending, but also families, so it can be very affordable for them.
Yeah, so those of you that are in 200 countries around the world that are watching right now, there's going to be something in that restaurant for you that you will love to eat, all right? Now, folks, this fantastic Museum of the Bible is opening November the 17th. I've been up to Washington, I've talked to people in the hotels, and they already are talking about this museum opening, and it'll probably outdraw all the other museums for the first 2 years. And yet, there's millions of people around the world that say, hey, I can't afford to fly to America. And Steve and Jackie and Carrie have come up with a way for them to share some of these exhibits in the museum and bring them to your country, okay? Traveling exhibits. They've already done a whole number of these in different countries, and we're going to talk about what they're doing next week I think you'll find this fascinating. I hope you'll join us then. Now, folks, I believe all of us as Christians are proud that we're going to have a major museum in Washington, D.C. that honors the Bible. And people coming from around the world, as they step inside the museum, they're going to see a 1,000,000-name wall listing those who say, I too honor the Bible and support this museum. If you'll give a generous gift of any amount, the museum will engrave and display your name on their 1,000,000-name wall for all to see. To have your name permanently engraved on this wall, just go to the museumofthebible.org/1,000,000nameswall. Then please remember to pray for the Christians in Russia. In the last few months, the Russian government has really cracked down on the evangelical Christian churches. I just talked with Hanna Halka in Finland, and the situation is getting much worse. Listen.
John, you're so right. Things are changing in Russia big time. The churches are losing their opportunity to reach their countrymen for Jesus. Just recently, 30 Secret Service agents, they stormed a church service in the Moscow area. They locked all the doors, collected all the names and the address, of course, personal information of all those people attending, and they also fined the pastors and the leaders of the church. This is just one indication, John, that there's an emergency at hand. I have received a special request, an emergency request from 1,600 evangelical churches for 1,000,000 more Power to Change books. And these books were used by believers across the nation to pray with 2 million people to receive Jesus Christ in the last 3 years. And now the people that have received Jesus, they are now requesting these same books so that they can also continue to reach their countrymen, their neighbors and their friends with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Right now, God has allowed us to use printing presses inside Russia. We cannot print and import into Russia, but we still can print for a limited time inside Russia. But I fear that this opportunity may very soon close. So I'm asking you for your help right away to provide 1,000,000 more Power to Change books that will change the lives of 1,000,000 Russians before the doors close in Russia for good. This is our hour of opportunity. There is an urgency, and thank you for helping. Thank you for giving.
Folks, these dear Christians in Russia are being persecuted and urgently need our help. We've raised enough money to provide close to 700,000 Power to Change books. But we only have one more week to raise the money to provide 1,000,000 books. If you'll help us today, there are 5 ways you can provide these books and help our ministry's outreach. First, if you'll give a gift of just $30, your gift will provide 45 books. Second, your gift of $100 will provide 150 books. Your gift of $500 will provide 750 books. Your gift of $1,000 will provide 1,500 books. And your gift of $5,000 will provide 7,500 books. And if you're able, a gift of $50,000 will provide 75,000 books. These dear Christians in Russia, they need our help now before the doors close for good on them. If you will help and you live in the United States or Canada, you can call us right now at 1-800-805-3030. That's 1-800-805-3030. Then if you live outside the United States or Canada, please give your gift by going to our website at jashow.org, where we have a secure place for you to give your gift. That's jashow.org, and I'll appreciate your help very much.